One of the most powerful and dynamic leadership frameworks around is called adaptive leadership. Probably made famous by Ron Heifetz, mainly at Harvard, but we've used that framework for many years in our leadership development programs at Tomorrow Today. And adaptive leadership is contrasted with technical leadership. Technical leadership is when you have an expert who knows what they're doing, they bring their expertise and their experience to bear, and you need technical expertise when everything's going well or everything's going exactly as planned or as expected and nothing's going off course. You know, if firefighters arrive at a building that's on fire, you want technical expertise. You want people who know fire, who've seen fire before and know how to put fire out. When you go in for brain surgery, you want a technical expert, somebody who's done this many times before, is not making it up as they go along. And so the list goes on, from accountants to lawyers and all other professionals. There are times when technical expertise is the best option. But in a world that's changing, in a world where the change is constant and disruptive and exponential, when the choices that we have are choices between a variety of different options that are all equally valid, in an environment where we don't know what the correct next step is, that's when we need to learn adaptive leadership. The problem is most of the leaders in our organizations, in our governments, are all technical experts, and you've got to learn the skills of adaptive leadership. Well, the interesting thing is we're living through a live case study of what adaptive leadership is and how it feels when you're not ready for it. Many of us are living in countries right now where our governments are responding to the COVID crisis in real time. Nobody's ever experienced something like this. We don't know everything we need to know. We don't know what the right options are. And in fact, there are multiple options in front of us that ask us to make choices that weigh up different options that are really, really difficult for us to come to grips with. You know, balancing opening up the economy versus keeping people medically safe and healthy. There are no right answers here. Everybody's got an opinion, and anything you do could be both right and wrong, and have immense consequences. In that environment, adaptive leadership steps in and asks us to take small steps with quick feedback loops. Those of you who know agile and lean methodologies, you know all about this. We're bringing this into our workplaces, but it's still difficult to take a few steps and then work out, was that the right thing to do? So governments put out policies for what's going to happen next week, and then 3 days later they change their mind about the policies. When governments change their mind about policies, half of the citizens lose their minds because they say, but you said last week that this is what's going to happen. We need to realize that we are living in adaptive times and that the best leaders are going to be the leaders who are adaptive. Adaptive leaders ask good questions. They get a range of inputs from different people. They weigh up different options. They're prepared to experiment and try something and then stop it if it's not working, having got immediate feedback. So they set up feedback loops for themselves. They communicate efficiently and they communicate regularly, and they make sure that part of that communication is listening as well. They're clear in what they say, but also clear that things might change. All of these things are the way that good governments are responding right now. There are lots of examples of bad governments going around, no names mentioned, but I'm sure you know who I'm talking about in chief. But good governments are responding with adaptive responsiveness. It's adaptive leadership. And you're going to have to get used to it because it's going to be like this for quite a long time. And even when the COVID crisis is over, actually, adaptive leadership is the best model of leadership in any disrupted environment. And we're going into the rest of the 2020s expecting deep, lasting disruptions. We're still going back to AI and robotics and automation and all of those good things. None of that's gone away. In fact, some of that will have been accelerated by this COVID disruption. So adaptive leadership is definitely something we need to be looking more at. Our leaders need to be investing more time in learning the skill set of adaptive leadership, and we as the followers need to be developing our skill set in how to survive and thrive in adaptive environments. If we can help you, we would love to do that. This is what we've done for nearly 20 years as a team at Tomorrow Today. Adaptive leadership and developing adaptive leadership skill sets in your people is what we do. And we'd love to help you to do it right now. It's more than a good thing right now. It is absolutely essential if we're going to get through this crisis together.